Bass, what up, boy? What up, boy? Good morning, good morning, good morning, man. Salute, man, salute. Let's get into this real fast, man. Gotta start the morning out with a jammy jam, you know what I'm talking about? Why not? Fuck it, we'll go to Rollo. Nobody. Salute, salute, good morning, good morning. Gotta go hard, man. Free that nigga young boy, man. So, I fuck with that Rollo, man. So shit, it seems like that nigga Cam is on to some Cam Newton. So I said, shit, I'm gonna tap into this, man. It's a little bit long, but we gonna tap into it. I got a little bit of time today, so we gonna tap into this. Very interesting interview.
Hey, hold on, stop. We're going to get back to the content at hand. But while I have your attention, I need you to go to iconicsaga.com with the...
They all good.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, has there ever been a time where, outside of the obvious reasons, where you wasn't?
I mean, dealing with, different kind of betrayal, you'll see a motherfucker here with you today, and the next day they're your biggest op. You smell me? So, like,
man, coffee,
that shit be taking a toll
man.
on me because, whenever you with certain individuals, you be planning life with these people. You smell me? So, that's the only time where I be kind of at halt because, now I got to rearrange whole plans that I had, put in place for us as a family. You smell me?
Yes, sir. So, we're going to start, obviously, from the beginning.
Right.
Being from Atlanta. And I call Atlanta Wakanda.
I forgot that nigga Cam went to Auburn, didn't he? That nigga Cam, that he went to Auburn? I forgot about that shit.
Bruh,
right.
Don't matter if you're an athlete, don't matter if you're an entertainer, don't matter if you're an entrepreneur, don't matter if you're a doctor, don't matter if you're a lawyer. If you're black, you have real opportunity
Right.
in Atlanta.
Right.
So, for you, what high school you go to?
I went to Frederick Douglass High School.
Duh.
Yeah, but I was kicked out, and I went to CEP, Community Education Partners. They call it Forest Hill Academy now. It's an alternative school. And I left from there, and I went to Cream, open campus.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, even throughout this whole...
No offense, but if you're paying more than $30 per month on car insurance...
My bad, that goddamn commercial. Shit be loud.
Hollow, so to speak, right?
Right.
You from the part of the town that we call the Bluff.
Right.
Explain the Bluff for the people who don't know.
I mean, the Bluff ain't the Bluff that it was coming up. You smell me? It's in the middle of Bankhead and Simpson Road, and if you can kind of put it in your head, where Shawty Low and the Honorable Brother T.I., they used to have this massive conflict. They used to call it Bankhead. And, from going to prison and now knowing that these streets, whether it's Bankhead, Simpson Road, Ashby, that we used to get tattooed on us and stuff, these are people that, enslaved us. You smell me? So, it was a small community. Well, it was a big community. And, it was just a lot of drug dealing, a lot of prostitution, a lot of gambling, a lot of killing, a lot of everything over there. You smell me? So, like, I was born and raised in that environment. And, coming from that environment to seeing it now, it's just a total transformation.
So growing up into this world as we know it, well, my world and your world is two different type of situations, no different than anybody else who I may be talking to or have talked to.
Right.
What caught your eye? Like, what was something as far as impacting you in a way, okay, I want that. Okay, I see this person, or who had the biggest influence that you allowed to impact you growing up?
Who had the biggest impact on me growing up? Of course, it was around the corner dope boys and, different people that was having, it was all about, at that time, it was all about how could I be able to sell what they selling? Because at that time I was buying, from these individuals. So I was trying to really figure out, okay, if I'm paying $500 for, they used to call it a 31, they used to give you 3 grams extra on a 28-gram ounce. I used to always wonder, like, how much profit this motherfucker making. You smell me? So those were some of the intriguing things that really, because back then, it was never about a car, it was never about a chain. I ain't started getting up the chains and stuff until I started messing around with Scooter and when he got into the rap game or whatnot. But
didn't I tell y'all about
it was all about how could I, and then, I was a big fan of dogs. That when the Miami boy came to Atlanta.
I told y'all about, hold on, let me pause it. I told y'all about Young Scooter, man. I told y'all about Scooter, Future, Rilo, motherfucking Young Thug, Scooter, Future, Rilo. Is somebody else I'm missing? Like, these niggas used to be in the trap for real, for real. Like, they used to be in the trap for real, for real, for real, for real. That nigga Scooter was riding around in a Ferrari like 10 years ago, nigga. And that nigga had never had a major album, my nigga. Never. Nigga was riding around in Rarries, changing cars, big jewelry, rollies on, nigga. Them niggas was in the trap for real, for real. Like,
There was a dude around the corner named Tip. He was from Miami, and he had a trap house on every corner. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to.
and also he was talking about, he said it was going down in the city when the Miami boys was there. If y'all all watch BMF, y'all seen the battles that they had with the Miami boys. Them niggas came down here, nigga, and tried to take, I say down here, came down to Atlanta and tried to take it over. And BMF and them wasn't happening, nigga. They was having wars down there. You gotta watch the BMF show. All that shit was real.
To evaluate like how the hell he just come from Miami and come take up.
Do it too much. Come on, bitch.
Of our neighborhood. So those type of things that I was interested in learning and knowing how did they do that so I can do that. You see what I mean?
I'm doing something behind the background. That's why
I want this! Jason is really fun.
goddamn commercial, man. They gonna make sure Cam get paid as if he ain't already paid already. You know, Cam, you been paid, brother. You don't need no damn commercials.
You're speaking on curiosity,
Right.
right? Even for me now in business, I'm always curious
Right.
of like, how? My curiosity to you is, when you use slang, I'm not about to be one of these guys that is going to cap and say, I understand drug dealing lingo.
Right.
You know, a lot of what people understand from, you got that ZA or
Right.
36 O's or grams or like, let me get a gram. All this is talk that we hear in rap music.
Right.
So let's stop. Like, it wasn't ever a time where somebody was like, yo, bro, let me show you how to cook crack. Let me show you how to, you know what I'm saying, talk to the plug. You know what I'm saying? All this is right there in your face
Right.
in music. But you've actually done this
Right.
at a high level. Who gave you the introduction to this world of drug dealing?
It was a dude by the name of Big Man. He used to go with my sister. He got 2 kids by my sister Olivia and Octavius. And he used to trap on the corner of James P. Broadley and North Avenue. And you know, I used to ride my bike. You know, I was around 12 or 13 years old at this time. And I used to ride my bike. It was around the time Toshiba had got killed in the bluff on the corner. And I just was like, shit, enough is enough. Like, I gotta see, cause I see him, I'm standing on the corner with him while he sell his dope. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, shit, I was curious. I was like, shit, let me see how much I can, cause he paid $50 for a $50 slab. So I was like, shit, I got an uncle, his name Ironhead. And I called him up, I said, I need me a $100 slab. He gave me 2 $50 slabs. I cut it up. I really didn't make no profit because I really didn't know it's a technique to cutting up crack.
Hey, definitely. You get them rocks and try to chop the nigga, you gonna lose. It's a technique to doing that shit. You got to finesse them stones, man. Hey, shit you gotta learn in the depth, the downs and the falls and the ups and the wins and the losses in the dope game. Yeah, shit you gotta
You smell me? Like, and it's a certain kind of razors you want to use, which is street razors. It's a certain kind of, baggage you want to use, which is 12A. So, I didn't even know none of this at the time because different sizes of bags would determine, how much profit you make. I fucked around about the biggest bags, and now I'm giving away. I'm wondering why all the customers keep coming to me, and nobody ain't making no money, but I ain't really making no money either because I ain't profiting. So it was a lady named by the name of Muffin. she told me like, look, Terrell, you got to cut it up in a certain way. And that's when I started learning how to make profits from it. So, Big Man probably introduced me to, the block, a block that I was from, of course. And, I had not never just distributed drugs. I always watched my parents and my siblings and, all the people around me deal with it. But he actually, my first time ever selling one sack of crack was with him.
So as you're talking,
Right.
you said mother involved,
Right.
father involved,
Right.
whole family just entrenched with this type of lifestyle and
Right.
environment. Now, for the viewer, you may see that as dysfunction, or you may see this as whatever, right? I'm looking at this like this is no different than I'm seeing. I was just watching a documentary on Netflix called Mr. McMahon.
Listen
Right.
to this
Right.
part right here.
His son seen his dad promote. His daughter, Vince McMahon, his daughter was also impacted by promoting.
Right.
So no matter as what you're doing, people are going to be driven to do that if this is something that
Remember I said, like, if they gave black people more business opportunities, if children see the mama own the business and the daddy own the business in the household, 9 times out of 10, nigga, the children are gonna wanna own 2 businesses, nigga. Try to outdo their parents and do something positive like that. You get what I'm saying? I always say this, dog. If a child grows up with the parents both owning businesses, being successful, man, they gonna want to do the same thing. They ain't gonna want to sell no drugs, man.
makes money.
Right.
So your situation is no different than anybody else. The commodity is different.
Right.
The impact is also different,
Right.
but it's still business.
Right.
You feel me?
Family business.
So I'm like, I'm in this
Corey, you on
situation
my
where it's
dick.
like, bro, I'm extremely intrigued of like,
You ride
okay,
another man's dick at
what
5
if
in the morning? How
your
does that work?
mom,
Where
your
girlfriend
dad,
at,
uncles,
bitch?
big
Hello,
or fat, or
ass
whoever
out
you
there,
describe had businesses that they say,
I get that a
Mommy don't
lot
even
from
smoke weed, hoe
my
ass
fiance
nigga.
cousin Poo Poo. She tell me all the time. Well, she used to tell me all the
Cat
time
ass
because,
nigga.
I ain't really have time to be in the studio. I ain't really have time to be doing shows and doing videos. I really had a very small window to even do this type of stuff. So, like, she used to always tell me, like, if you put that same
for the
energy
music.
in some businesses, I think that you'll have a massive company. You smell me? But, I ain't know that type of shit. You smell me? So, going to prison and studying books and, asking questions with real estate people and stuff like that, that's when I started learning about real estate. But at first, I was in the same position, like, damn, like, I ain't know anything outside of the trap. You smell me?
yeah.
So,
This is a real quote from Elon Musk.
right.
We all know him as
Right.
Tesla's creator or whatever, SpaceX,
My boss.
amongst other different business prowess
My
that
boss.
he has been successful in. He said the greatest entrepreneurs in America's history
Oh, who?
has been drug dealers.
Oh, they who? The greatest niggas that put shit together in business, man, are drug dealers. That's what my boss said. Man, I love working for that nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? Love working for him because he not lying. He not lying. He not lying.
Right.
Pablo Escobar is the greatest businessman of all time.
Right.
So instead of him trafficking narcotics and having a stress level of saying, I have to watch out because I can die.
Right.
Bill Gates is just saying, okay, that's a bad investment and I'll lose millions and billions. One is fighting for his life. The other one is fighting for just money. You dig what I'm saying? So one needs this. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if I'm going to learn about business, I'm going to take this opportunity to learn from any and everything. Mm-hmm. Call it crazy, call me corrupt, call me delusional. But I'm like,
Why not? Why not have the book knowledge and the street knowledge? That makes you a dangerous, dangerous individual. It's like a nigga that go to work and grind. He want all the money. I mean, all the money. He wants all the money.
Oh, my nigga, like, your cousin is correct. Because that same type of brain power, you started seeing profit and loss, understanding portion control, understanding, okay, bro, if I'm selling a soda to you at 12 cents or 25 cents, but I'm getting that soda for 26 cents, that ain't really no profit.
Right.
Who are you?
You know? Definitely. Let's get into it. Talk to him, Kel.
And even if I can open up the cup and control the pouring scale, I'm giving you 10 cents on that damn cup. But I'm charging you. Makes sense. So the commodity is completely different.
Right.
It's still business.
Still business.
A person that I've done my research on to understand had a major impact for you was your grandmother.
Right.
What was it like growing up in that grandmother's house?
I mean, you know, the grandmama thing, she was the first person that I was close to that had Section 8. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes with Section 8, you ain't got to worry about the rent. You smell me? So my grandma ain't have too much of a stress level, and also she had always welcomed me in with open arms. Every time we get kicked out, or every time my mama kicked me out, or anything that's going wrong, she always was that pillow that I can go lay on. You smell me? And you know, the biggest thing that her and I have done together, you know, we did our income tax together. Every year when I was a kid, she used to give me $100 every year. You smell me? And then, you know, when I got 12 and 13 and I started seeing other kids get more, I started asking my grandma, like, Grandma, I need more than that. I just seen blase, and woo get $400. So she started giving me $400 out the $1,600 check. And so, you know, it came a time where, you know, I had a meal job, but I was in school with a job. I was working at Kroger. And when I had got my W-2, it said I was exempt from taxes because I was in school. So I took my W-2 and I put my grandma's name on it and put some numbers on it, and we shot it up, and we ended up getting like $600 to $800 from her income tax check. And she was like, I was like, how much you want, Grandma? She was like, just give me $4,000, baby. I gave her $4,000. I kept the rest, and that's how I got my first apartment, 2 doors down from her. When I was like 15 years old.
How many of
15
you
with your own?
Yeah, man,
How
mom.
many of you niggas was out on your own at 15? How many of you little niggas was pulling up at 15? Pulling up in your own shit at 15? Hey, I ain't have my own house, but I had a bitch that did. Nigga, I was 15 fucking with an old bitch. 21, 22. I'm 15 pulling up. Pulling out a pocket full of money. Yeah, nigga, them was the good days, nigga. Yeah, I can't say that. Rolling to school at 15, nigga. Nigga, my mama ain't bought this, nigga. We had Cadillacs and Mercedes and Buicks and shit, nigga. Nigga, what the fuck? Yeah.
My mom used to be getting drunk and shit. Like, that shit was like bad. Playing the music up all wild. Like, I actually was one of the kids that wanted to graduate. Because nobody, now sibling I got, have graduated from high school. You smell me? So I was like determined, no matter what, I'm going to graduate from high school. But, you know, listening to music 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to get up. And then you be like, Mama, turn the music down. Tell you, nigga, you want to be grown? Get the hell out of my house. You smell me? So I got that so much to the point where it drilled myself in the head, and it was like, nigga, you got to get your own apartment. You smell me?
But this is the thing that I'm most, okay, I hear, yeah, it is a little toxic, but the independence, the level of independence at a young age to file W-2s and, motherfucker, I didn't do that shit until I was goddamn, shit, really 22.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, like, I make the little Pell Grant from college, which that shit maxed out at like 5,200, and that was going off of how much your mom and your dad paid. You feel what I'm saying? So the poorer they were, the more you got. So I'm like, damn, mom. Shit, I'm seeing my partners or my teammates, they bringing in damn near 9,000. I'm like, shit, y'all damn niggas, y'all can't be more broke because I need more money. You feel me? Just to show. So for you growing up in that type of atmosphere, understanding business acumen in any type of caliber, having your own was something that drove you to independence
That's
and
what drove me.
what you say?
I wanted
At
my
15, you
own,
had your
nigga.
own apartment, right?
Shit, nigga.
Understanding business and entrepreneurship. You see what I'm saying? Who taught you that independence? Was it the struggle of knowing what your circumstances were? Or was it a person that you were like, okay, I see how he moved, I see how she moved, and I respect that into that.
I remember being on the front porch at 442 Elm Street. You know, we had a shotgun house, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen next to each other. And we had two runners outside. They call them runners. It was Babe Bro and Bo Peep, and they was like, you know, crack addicts that my mom used to give a couple sacks.
You niggas ever had runners before? Hey, you little punks ever had runners before while y'all typing in my chat? Man, this is a hustler session. If you ain't a hustler, get your ass out. Hey, you little punks ever had runners, nigga? Niggas don't even know what a runner is, nigga. They gonna be, it's a youngster that? No, it ain't no youngster that nothing. It's a junkie. Two valuable junkies. Two of the most valuable junkies that keep shit going. Keep bringing licks where shit don't never stop. Shit don't never stop. That's all you need is like one or two of them. Nigga, you get them, they gonna keep bringing licks all day, all night, all day. And you tell them, this is the limit of money that I want, nigga. Don't come up here without it, and they gonna keep this bitch jumping. You don't know shit about that type of shit. That nigga said his mama or his grandma, whoever it was, had run. Man, y'all niggas don't know shit about that type
Keep
of shit.
everything going, like bring customers in. And I remember that they used to take this lawnmower and come back and buy them some crack. You smell me? And I was like, shit.
Real trap shit.
Y'all keep coming back spending them $10. I need to get that motherfucking lawnmower and see if I can make me some money for the ice cream truck and shit like that. And they let me borrow their lawnmower, and I went to Vine City. You know what I'm saying? It's like right directly across the street from the bluff. The only thing that draws the line is the road, Simpson Road. So I go across the Vine City because they got like nicer houses, and you know, Dr. Martin Luther King, his wife Coretta Scott used to work over. Coretta, she used to work over there. She used to live over there. That was his house. So I used to go cut all their grasses, and I come back about $40, $50. You know what I'm saying? And, I remember going to the store right on Sunset and Simpson Road, and I bought me a Hawaiian Punch, and I bought me a pack of noodles, ramen noodles. And I got back to the house, I bought the noodles, drunk me some of that soda, and it was like 89 cents that I had spent. And I knew right then, shit, I could feed myself. You smell me? Like, it was like, I ain't gotta go hungry. You smell me?
Yeah.
Cause I could feed myself, cause you know, back then they had paper food stamps.
Yeah.
You know, they had the money food stamps, and every time my mama or somebody get that shit, they was selling them bitches.
Yeah.
So it just, you know, that taught me how to be independent.
So take me through this process though. You getting kicked out of
Right.
the rebellion of you going to Crim.
Right.
Was that your situation?
You know, I was selling crack in the bluff, you smell me? And then, you know, they had Red Dogs back then. They had the jump out van. They had the Ford Taurus, the black Ford Taurus. They pulling up on you, whipping your ass, taking your dope and stuff like that. So it was just very common to just keep going back and forth to juvenile. Like, I stayed in juvenile quite a lot. So that affected my grades. That affected my attendance in school and stuff. So, you know, and that also kept me in trouble because, you know, you had your robbers, you had your thieves, you couldn't let shit like that go back then.
Yeah.
If something go on like that, you had to go handle your business. So I'm shooting people, going to juvenile, going to trial, losing, and you know, that whole little dynamic of just going through the street shit affected my schooling.
So as you're growing,
Right.
I'm still in teenage. I'm still in middle school, high school time, right? How did you start to shake and mold your mind to say, this ain't enough, I want more?
Shit, bills. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a child. I remember working at Kroger, And they found out I was getting too many hours. Like at first I started off the buggy boy, going to go get the buggies out the parking lot. Then I started being a courtesy clerk. I used to bag the groceries. And, then I started going on the aisle stocking stuff. And keep in mind, I'm only 15 years old at this time. And, my fiance had got pregnant with my first child. You smell me? So now I'm knowing that I'm finna be a father. I had stopped selling dope for a little while because, I had all these warrants out on me. I had all this stuff. My probation officer tripping, telling me if I get caught up, they're gonna send me juvenile for it was a juvenile life sentence between 5 and 10 years. And right then, I kind of dodged them, and I was able to get my own apartment. But then the damn people at Kroger found out I was getting over 50 hours a week. And if you're a child and you're in school, by the work permit, government say that you couldn't even do over 12 to 15 hours a week because you in school, you still a child. Right then, he cut my hours from 50 hours a week to now I'm doing 15 hours a week. You smell me? And at that time, minimum wage was number $5.25. So if you do the math, I ain't making no more than $75 a week. That's what, $300 a month at max. And
Damn.
I couldn't take care of myself. I'm telling you, my grandma income tax check to get me an apartment. How the hell I'm gonna pay these $550 a month? How the hell I'm gonna pay this light bill? You know what I'm saying? How the hell I'm gonna buy Pampers and stuff? Right then, I knew like shit. I had to go buy me some more dope. And I had to go get more.
Yeah. So as you're life is life.
Life is life.
You did.
Right.
Certain things that you need, these necessities,
Right.
are mounting up.
Right.
Right.
What now is your push to okay, the hard work that I'm doing working for the man is rendering me only $75 a week. On paper, I still should be going to school.
Right.
Not in school. So now it's okay, what was that moment where you realized all right, let me start taking this dope shit serious?
I mean, I used to re-up with my big brother named Smoke. He used to go with this girl named Kiki out the bluff. And we used to go buy this shit called a deuce. That's 2 ounces of powder. And he'll cook it up with me and stuff like that. So whenever, we go buy this shit, I used to ask the nigga when we go back, let's go buy a 4. So we end up going to go buy a 4-way probably weeks and weeks. So, and I was like, look, man, after we buy a 4-way, let's buy us a quarter brick. That's a 9. That's 9 ounces. And he was like, man, I'm good with what I got. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to do that, man. So I'm like, man, we gonna get a free fucking ounce of crack. If we got there by 9, we get a whole free $1,000. I could sell weight then. No, I ain't got to keep selling these nickels every day out the trap. And he was like, he didn't want to do it with me. You smell me? He wouldn't even let me go to the plug with him. So, I end up calling one of my other people, and he end up, putting me in the mix. And then I called my brother. I was like, shit, if you want to buy an ounce or two, I'll sell you ounces.
Now, y'all went from partners
right
to now you serving him because he didn't have your vision.
That was the stupidest shit. I just thought that was always stupid. When I used to see my mama,
It's niggas that's blocking you. See, you should have knew right then and there that wasn't your homeboy, man. I mean but sometimes the plug don't want to meet everybody. That's just how it is. He don't want to fuck with nobody but you. But you still shouldn't block that nigga, man. If that nigga want to come up, let him come up. I love to see a nigga come up. Every day, I love to see a nigga balling out of control. Long as he got it the right way, he ain't kill nobody or nothing, nigga, and he balling, man, shoot to him. Whether he go to work, own a business, whatever, hustling. My nigga, if a nigga is in your way like that, you got to find you a plug. Your vision ain't another nigga vision, bro. And another nigga don't give a damn about you coming up, man. For real.
She'll keep going to go buy a 50 slab every single day. I used to go see quarter ounces, and I always wonder, why y'all won't go buy more to make more money to get a better living? You smell me? And he just insisted on being in that same house. I guess he was just satisfied with what he was getting. Like he go in the house a certain time and he come out a certain time, and he was stuck in that way. He go to the movie with a girl every week and shit. And I was like, fuck all that. We need to get the money. You see what I mean? He ended up starting. He started out buying shit. You know, I'm 10, 15 years younger than him, so he really felt like I ain't finna be buying no dope for my little brother. So he ended up.
So this your real brother or this is your partner?
This is my dad's stepson at that time, because my dad was a Rolling Stone. He was just going city to city fucking, and they were one of the bitches he used to fuck son, and he brung him down from Miami. Yeah.
Brung him up.
Yeah, brung him up.
But I'm like, okay. At this age, you got dreams, you got aspirations. This ain't enough to you. This ain't enough. Like, what's your first recollection of like, okay, this real money here?
I mean,
Look who's joining us for my favorite part of
Hey, Cam broke this shit down way better than Say Cheese. I don't give a fuck what a nigga say. Say Cheese ain't that. He a good interviewer, but Rollo didn't break it down to him like this, dog. Like,
that shit was really never none of that shit was never no money to me, because I always go re-up and I see how much shit they got. You smell me? I might, even when I got my first.
hey, that's what let you know you ain't ballin'. When you go re-up. What he's saying is, this will let you know that you ain't doing shit when you go re-up. What I'm saying is, what he's saying is, when you go in there and fuck with them essays and you see what the fuck they got, you know you gotta get your shit together. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No, it's probably 5, 6 times what you trying to get. You get what I'm saying? No matter if you buying a big package, they should take 2, 3 times bigger, man.
Couple million. You gotta understand, I'm putting my little bag on now, and he got a pallet full of this money.
You see
You
what
know
I'm
what I mean? He
saying?
got a pallet full of money.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
when I go home and I post my little shit on Instagram, it don't mean shit to me, because I just seen a whole fucking pallet of
That's
money.
why I be like, niggas be like holding that money in their hands and shit. Man, nigga, that ain't no money, nigga. That ain't no money, man. Nigga, that ain't, nigga. I done sat with my kinfolk, nigga, and counted money for 6 hours, nigga. We count money for 6 hours, nigga. That's why I said that little money in your hand, that ain't no money, nigga.
I'm trying to figure out how the fuck I can get that pallet.
Well, who is this? When you say that he had a pallet of money, who was that?
My plug at that time.
So that's where I'm in. Like, when niggas talk about plugs, right? And I ain't trying. This is all for information where niggas who really actually did this shit can give you their experiences.
That's all it is.
Does all plugs, are they always like foreign?
I don't think this nigga was. He looked at Spanish and he talked Spanish, but he was more of a nigga than you and I.
You see what I'm saying?
But no, I'm gonna keep it 100. Everybody around him was Spanish. You smell me? But him.
But I'm saying, like, there is a, what's the word? Hollywood approach to selling drugs that all,
Nah, hell no, that ain't true.
you feel it come duct tape, it come like, hey, Holmes, like, let me get a quarter kilo, eh? Like, those are just the illusions or the visuals that they throw on you and be like, oh shit, like, we know more drugs from watching Scarface,
Right.
from watching American Gangster, from watching Godfather, and then you start seeing movies like Goodfellas and Blow, and they start reenacting like how that whole transaction is. How much truth in your reality was that in real life?
I mean, he definitely was dealing with some Spanish individuals, and I ain't taught Spanish, and I think he knew a little bit of Spanish, but anytime I come around, I'm like the brother. I'm like the little son, because I'm the youngest of all the people he served. You smell me? So like, he was like a father to me. You know what I'm saying? Because
Shout out
due to
my
the
fam,
loss of my father out of my household, and
Shout out
I
to-
now got a nigga
Shout out to
doing
my family.
something for me. I feel like he doing something for me. Even though I'm hustling and I'm selling dope,
I see you,
I
fam.
just was
I see you hit the like
appreciative
button for me. I see you hit the like button for me, fam.
to have an opportunity
Double tap the
to even
screen.
enhance myself. You
You
smell
love
me?
your mama.
So, when did he take you serious? Because everybody sells drugs. Let them tell it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's a nickel bag, a penny bag, or a goddamn kilo.
When he took me serious, he had caught a murder case. He had killed a nigga, you know, trying to rob him one day, and he was in the Cobb County jail, and you know, he still had product, and you know, I was the only person that didn't run off on him. You smell me? I was the only person that he trusted. So when he got out, he just put it all into me. You smell me?
Yeah.
And then he got tired. I gotta rewind because he got tired of me actually coming to his motherfucking shop every day getting shit. So he was like, look, man, you coming up here every day buying 2 ounces, an ounce here and there. He like, look, just save your money up and whatever you get, I'm a front. So I was like, shit. All right, I'm going back to Simpson Road. I go to the Bluff. I'm telling them Meatball and Bird. I'm like, look, we gotta stay down. We gotta hustle this shit up. I hustled myself up like $14,000 back then. You know, a whole brick was $28,000. I took it up there to the shop to him, and you know, I just gave him the money. He never counted my money like that, and he gave me a pack. He was still talking to some more Mexicans and shit. So I just got the goddamn bag, got in my motherfucker. I had a 1985 Pontiac Bonneville blue.
Yes, sir.
That shit was all fucked up. I used to run hot and all of those shit. So I get back to Etheridge. We living in Rolling Benz apartments. That's Etheridge Projects, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't know how much this shit is. Let me see. So I break it down. I ain't have a scale big enough for that motherfucker. So I started breaking down ounce by ounce. And I got my first brick from him. You smell me? So I gotta say, at that moment, it was like colossal to me because at that time you had your Yo Goddess, you had your Jeezy, you had your trap music in, and niggas was rapping about bricks like it was nothing. So for me to just have my first brick, that shit was like goddamn graduating with a doctor's degree.
Yo, these niggas know. Let's go, nigga. That shit nigga don't know the feeling. With Pepe, when you got that motherfucker in your hand, it's like you graduated, man. It's some crazy ass saying. Lord knows I ain't fucked with this shit in 20-something years. And I know that feeling, man. I done had that feeling, man. But I done also felt the feeling that if you don't bring this boy money back, man, they gonna unalive your ass too. See, man, it's the streets, man.
That was it, goddamn. That was it. Shit. With the first pick in the 2025 shit. Street nigga draft.
Exactly. That definitely was
good in this goddamn straight up.
Right.
Street value for what you was looking at with that one brick rendered you what?
About 50 to 60,000. You know, later on I learned how to make it 100,000. But you know, at that time it was about 50 to 60,000.
So what's your definition of, or what classifies a successful street nigga?
A successful street nigga is he who get out of this shit. You smell me? Who, you know, invest all this money into this property and, you know what I'm saying, start accumulating generational wealth. You smell me? That's what I call a successful street nigga.
So, as you're understanding, in essence, how to move, you got access to, let's say, $40,000, $50,000. And now moment that you're living this life, that you're saying to yourself, bro, what's my escape plan?
Hell no. At that moment, I'm like, okay, I got to figure out how the hell I'm finna get 10 bricks. I got to get 10 of these motherfuckers. I got to get, right now, at that moment, because now he pressuring me. He like, hey, man, well, as soon as you make my money, you bring me my money. But I'm like, shit, I want to bring all of that one time. You know what I'm saying? but he went hearing that shit. So now I gotta put another trap house in another area, because I gotta accumulate, get more cash to be able to please him. Because I gotta please this nigga.
Yeah. So that one situation,
Right.
how long did it take you to get rid of that?
I mean, whenever I used to get this shit, what I used to do, I just cook up ounce by ounce. I had this pretty little pot called Vision Cookware. You smell me? And you know, you got good temperatures and shit. Yo, it won't buzz, so you can throw it on there. They had stopped selling them in stores and shit, but you could still get them offline and stuff. And back then I couldn't get online. I could have got online, but I really wasn't, online friendly or whatnot. And every time I got my dope, I used to cook the whole ounce. I used to try to bring each ounce back to like 36. You know what I'm saying? Get me an extra 7 grams out of it.
Good whip game.
We have to catch this serial killer.
Real old whip game, man.
This killer thinks he's a small.
Giving that nigga Cam that old whip game, man. Hey, this is a crazy interview, man. This bitch, that's why I did. Hey, this bitch hard.
But I ain't following.
So
He
in
said,
every ounce.
Listen. He said, Cam said, I ain't following you. For all the slow folks, it's 28 grams in an ounce. It's 28 grams in an ounce. My nigga, what he said is that he was buying the ounce, putting a little extra water on it to make that bitch weigh 37 after he cook it. My nigga get an extra, an extra 7 grams or something. Nigga, that's what he was saying.
Of cocaine, you get 28 grams. So if you add an extra 7 grams on it, you'll get like 35, 36 grams. You know what I'm saying? So that just that alone, if you selling it whole, you making $250 profit. If you break it down, you making $2,000. So really, you making like $1,250 profit. Yeah. So you really choosing between making $250 profit or making $1,250 profit.
Yes, sir.
You smell me? So I really want the $1,250 profit, but I know it's gonna take a little while. So I'm trying to please him, so I'm just selling this shit whole. Really what's fucking up my profit margin of what I usually do, because I sit in the trap and me, Big Bottom Bird, we'll break this shit down by nick. It's just, but now I gotta please him because he want his money. You smell me?
So how long did it take you?
I want to say, I ain't get alerted by him for about the first time I ain't get alerted by him, period. When I took the 28,000 up there, he told me like, hey, so it took me a while to get that 28,000. Probably took me like 3 weeks to get that 28. You smell me? But when I got up there, he told me he want his money fast. Goddamn, when I got back, it was a week. So I kept bringing. He just was like, Rollo, just bring me my 14,000, and we just gonna keep swapping it out like that. And that's when I wasn't able to even enjoy myself because I'm trying to please him so badly. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't able to go out. So really, I'm just stacking dope. You smell me? So every time I get a brick, I go over there, cook my shit up. I'm stacking ounces. And then when he got locked up, I was able to say, okay, shit, let me see how many ounces I got up there. It was like this little, in the Etheridge bathroom, you could pull the thing up and do this shit to the ceiling. And I was just grabbing all the ounces and I just put it out there. And I counted them, bitch. I had like 112 ounces. And at that time, that was like $1,000 a piece. So now I know I got my first $100,000. You smell me?
Yeah.
And I went to fucking that money up. I went to fucking that money up. He was in jail. I ain't had no guidance. It's just me out here. I'm just balling. God. We just going to the store.
Fuck that money, bitch.
Bought me an El Camino.
Yeah.
I took all the bros that was True Religion, was really, really popular in ballet books, ballet belts.
Yeah.
I had not never been to Nemo's in Saxville. I
Nigga Lennox without, you know what I'm saying, looking for a nigga to come up on. You feel? Like, nigga. A
nigga came up on me there. Yeah.
Who?
My blood was locked up. A nigga seen me in there blowing the cash and told me he got them bricks and ended up dummying me while my plug was locked up.
Dummy you like
gave me a fake brick. It was clean at the top, and it was all bullshit in the middle.
So let's talk about that. Because there's no question of your experiences enriching you to understand the core essence of what business is all about.
Right.
But this ain't your prototypical wake up in the morning, get dressed, kiss your fiance on the head, and boom, 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 as if to say your block can't get knocked off at any given moment. You
Right.
see what I'm saying? Let's talk about the horror of this trade.
I think the horror is what made us. That's what makes. It's like the training. It's just almost like how you get up in the morning and you kiss your fiance and shit like that. Before you went to that job, before you got that job, you had some kind of training or some type of orientation.
Mm-hmm.
The horror part about the business is the orientation, is the skill set, because you got to be able to identify a bad pack. You got to be able to identify snake ass niggas. You smell me? Mm-hmm. And that comes with a lot, because between 100%, like 40% of it be some horror shit, some snaked out shit, some bad dope or something.
What's your first understanding of identifying a fake nigga or a fake situation? Knowing what you know.
I was around, I want to say I was around 13 years of age. And the bluff, it was as slow as a motherfucker. It wasn't no money pumping. So I took my pack to Claremont. I took my Claremont. It's over there, in the DeKalb County. And a man by the name of Craig, he was a runner. You know what I'm saying? He used to run customers for me in the bluff. He was like, "Rollo, man, it's another spot over here on Camelot and Claremont that, all your nicks you can sell as dimes." So I was looking at my pack. I'm like, "You telling me I can make 3,000 from the 1,500 that I got?" I'm like, "Shit, let's go. Take me over there." So we got us a ride over there. And
So, nigga, you ain't even driving?
Nah, hell no. I'm 13 years old. I ain't driving. I got a ride over there. So we got a ride over there, boom. And we was in these hotels. And yeah, they was buying that shit for $10. I was shocked by it, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta understand, I'm still a kid. I ain't never in 8th grade, you smell me? So when it get late, I got sleepy at that time, around that age. I still gotta go to goddamn school. So I got sleepy. I got motherfucking sleepy, so goddamn, that's when it started beating. The night shift was when the door was boom, boom, boom. So I'm serving, I'm starting serving, but I'm still getting sleepy. And the nigga was like, "Just give me the bomb." I was like, "Huh, man, just serve everybody, and I'll catch you in the morning." I woke up in the morning, he wasn't there. He wasn't there. That motherfucker was gone.
Go.
Keep in mind, I don't know where the fuck I'm at. I'm just a little kid in the middle of nowhere. Then now it's time to check out the hotel room. So these people come to the door like, "You gotta check out." Like, "You gotta talk to Craig." The room was in Craig name. He like, "Who is Craig?" I'm like, "He here." He said, "What?" So I stayed up there. I'm like, "Well, ask him for a late checkout." So now they think I'm goddamn, I got kidnapped. I'm some kind of little child. So now I'm like, it's getting kind of weird around this motherfucker. They trying to call the police.
Yeah.
So right then, I just went out there and I had a couple dollars, because I still had the money that I had made.
Yeah.
But he had the big pack, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, this nigga just left me. So I'm thinking this nigga dead or something. So probably about a weekend, I see this nigga back on the corner. I'm like, "Where my gun at?" And because I gave him the gun too. I'm like, "What the hell my gun?" I wanted my gun more than I wanted dope, because back then they weren't really selling kids guns and shit. You had to really get a gun from a real nigga in the blood. Like, "Hey, I buy a gun." Niggas weren't selling 12-year-old guns and 13-year-old guns like that. So I'm like, man, I work hard for that goddamn 38. So that nigga said, "Yeah, I had went to the club and man, some niggas robbed me, man." So I'm like, "You went to the club while I'm in the motherfucking house in the hotel suite?"
Yeah.
Right then, I'm like, man, ain't no motherfucking way. So I see the nigga the next day again. I say, man, tell me the truth. He like, man, I just had to teach you the game. I had to school you. Don't never get your dope to no motherfucking crackhead, nigga. He told me just like that. That when I was like, okay, you smell me? Took me a big loss.
Did he give you a pistol back?
Hell no, he sold that too. He sold all that. I still be seeing him, and he'll be seeing me because I be in the black trucks and shit. I be like, I ought to get out and beat his ass, man.
Don't do that.
Guess what though? When I was just in the feds, that nigga was just my bunk mate. When I first got locked up for the first year, that nigga was my bunk mate. And he came in my motherfucking cell and he was trying to cook for me and all this old shit. I'm like, man, bitch ass nigga, I still remember when I was 12 years old, you left me out there in that hotel.
Boy, when I tell you, boy, this is real reality TV right here, boy. You should be.
Nigga Cam sucking his seat, dog. This nigga Rollo got Cam sucking his seat because see, I keep forgetting these people are regular people and there's nothing wrong with being regular, but they don't understand. Like, nigga, yes, nigga went through this type of shit. Yes, yeah.
He directing the motherfucking some shit because this shit is entertaining. Like, I'm mentally blown away by just
Double tap the screen, man.
the shit you probably been through
Just do that, man.
at such a young age where like, nigga, at 13, nigga, boy, I had to check in. Shit, it wasn't even like, nigga, I couldn't go to the motherfucking park without my damn dad or my mama saying, hey, be back here at a certain time. You see what I'm saying? That's not everybody in reality. Like, I look at how you rock and you roll, like, we all see the Water Boys.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Big bro. Man, help me out, big bro. Come on, big bro. Boy, you give a dub.
No offense, but if you're paying more.
Give them niggas a dub and they look at you like you crazy or something.
Man, that was him, big bro. That wasn't me, big bro. Man, let me get some. And I'm like, bro, hold on. First off, where the fuck y'all parents at? Like, where you stay at, bro? Oh, I stay in the Bluff. What the fuck is you doing over here in Lenox or Cheshire Bridge? Like, nigga, that's a long way. And I know you ain't driving. What you catch, bro? And then a nigga told me one time, like, oh, man, in my block. I said, y'all got blocks of water? Like, y'all just, like, yeah, but that right there is it's hard for people to fathom other people's reality.
Right.
And what you know is, nigga, that's just a normal day for me, nigga. Shit, we ain't even got into when I was 14. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's some traumatic ass shit. But through it all, it's a wonder where you ain't ended up dead.
Right.
Cause in this game, it's a jungle, nigga. It ain't no motherfucking rules of like, bro, shit, I'm gonna teach you how to protect yourself out here. Nigga, it ain't no fighting one-on-one or honor one-on-one. It's just like, nigga, you just gotta have an intuition of like, hold on, you say you'll do what? Right. Nah, I'm good. You see what I'm saying?
You really got to develop that.
But
I mean, I think all of us, you know, come in this shit a green bean. But, you know, after nigga chew you up and spit you out, you'll get yourself together. You smell me? You just you gotta go through that. You gotta go through that part to get to the next part. You smell me?
But the curiosity too, at such a young age, it being so prominent in your environment, you never did drugs yourself?
Hell no. My mama don't used to be smelling all that powder, drinking all that liquor, and staying up all them nights and doing all that shit to me. Cause you know, I'm born in a liquor house. You know, I learned how to hold dollar shots at 5 and 6 years old, so my mama can make some money. And we go back up here to the goddamn Ace. That's the little store that was on Bankhead, and go get some more liquor and bill and sell it. So like, I always told myself, cause when you coming out, just like we sitting on these little chairs right here, when we go in my mama house, man, it was like a cloud of smoke in that motherfucker. Like you barely can see through that motherfucker. So like, I always told myself that I'd never do the shit that they was doing. You smell me?
I read somewhere where you wanted to be an electrician.
Right. I really was on some shit like I wanted to be whatever my brother was. You gotta understand, like, I found out I had a brother around, I want to say around 6 or 7 years old. Before that, I didn't know I had no other sibling other than my sister because my brother then was in group home or whatnot, and my mama kind of hid that shit from me. Or I just didn't never hear her talking about him. So when I finally met that I had a big brother, that was, you know, he was probably about 10 years older than me. And he told me, like, man, look, man, if you become an electrician, you could do this, that, and the third, and they make this amount of money. So it was already in my head. I'm like, shit, I already build clubhouses and shit in the backyard. Let me see if I have some light in this motherfucker. I live in this motherfucker. So right then, I'm like, shit, I need to learn how to deal with, you know, electrician shit. So, you know, IBEW was over here. And right when I got that conviction from shooting Greg, it was over with for that. You know what I'm saying? Because they was like, you can't have convictions and shit like that. So they just threw that whole thing out the door.
So it's no, after you got a charge,
Right.
right? It ain't too much shit that you can do.
You never know that. Because, you know, every day in the Bluff, you seeing the jump out boys and the red dogs and the, you know, the black van, the white van. You seeing niggas get locked up every single day, sometimes 4, 5 times a day. So it was never a time where I would think just one of these arrests that happen 5 times a day can fuck up your whole life. So it didn't register to me.
It didn't dawn on you, yeah.
Yeah. So when I got older, and I was like, okay, I could go to IBEW. They're telling me about it's a union and they don't accept convicted felons and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So that shit just threw all of it out the door.
So this is what, so I've always wondered, right? Especially in this world of secrecy, so to speak. When I tell you I'm really enamored by gangster shit, not more so gangster shit, more so drug dealing, because that's the type of shit that moves me. Like it's like America loves the badass.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We seen the movie Goodfellas, right? Where he got this quote that he says, man, I wanted to be a gangster. That was something that I wanted to be more so than the president of the United States. You park anywhere you want to. You say you wear the flashy cars, you wear the flashy clothes, and everybody respects you. Things like that. And you operate almost as untouchable.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying?
Untouchable, nigga.
What would make you decide, I'm already making money?
Right.
Why would you get into music?
Man, that nigga Scooter came, like, it was always welcome home Rollo parties back there. You smell me? And I had just got out of prison. I went to prison when I was 17. You smell me? And I got out a couple years later. And Scooter had came down to Rock Street. I had Rock Street beamed. This when I started really fucking with the crack, and I started fucking with number heroin. You smell me? And I had, you know, I don't make my first couple million by now, but he came to he came to Rock Street, and he had a chain on, a BMG chain on. And I was like, how the fuck you get a chain? I ain't even got a chain. I got a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a chain? And, you know, I got SRTs and shit out there. And he was like, yeah, man, you gonna come to my show? And I was like, you got a show? So he was like, yeah. So he took me to his show. And when he took me to his show and I seen the people like, I can make cocaine, the whole crowd there. I'm like, nigga, you got how much for that? He said he got $10,000 for the show. I thought about it. I'm like, nigga, you know how much shit I used to have to do for $10,000? And you just went on this stage and goddamn just rapped this shit and got $10,000? I'm like, yeah. I was like, man, you know, not to degrade Scooter now, but at that time I was heavy in the streets. Like, you really couldn't even get nothing done in the streets without me at that time. And I was like, nigga, I know who I am in these streets. You smell me? This shit, I know what's happening with me. If he can do it, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he kind of schooled me about it, and, you know, I just got into it, really, you know, trying to figure it out. You smell me? I didn't know that this game was just like the dope game.
Yeah. Any regrets from selling drugs?
Hell yeah. I mean, you know, when you become, you know, I went to prison, I became Muslim. I mean, well, I became Muslim in county jail, and then I started learning about my religion in prison and stuff like that. And, you know, going to state prison was just totally different from going to federal prison, because now you in the feds, you where the big dogs at, where the big money. You ain't the only rich nigga around this motherfucker. There's a couple Rollos, you smell me?
Yeah.
And I learned, and I read a book that you can't even, and I believe in Islam, and I believe in the scholars, and I believe in his books, you smell me? And one of the scholars has said that there's no repentance without regret. So right then he broke it down. He was like, you have to have regret in your heart before you go repent. Because if you do not regret that action, then your repentance is not
That's not
sincere.
important. Yeah.
So I knew then, and it made sense. It made sense when you think about it from going to counseling and stuff. Because, different prison yards give you all kind of counseling and stuff. And I knew then, like, you can't say, oh, that bullshit I did was cool and still go to your Lord and ask for forgiveness. You have to really have, that shit got to be disgusting to you. Like, damn, I did that. That shit disgusting. Like, hell no. Like, now I'm on cam. Like, hey, shit, I wish my mama would have put me in a better situation so I could have used these same skills in a business aspect. You see what I mean? But, those were the cards that was dealt to me. You know what I'm saying? So, unfortunately, I was born and raised in that shit, but I still regret that my mama had to go through that. You see what I mean?
With that relationship, we talked about your grandmother. Tell me your parents' dynamic.
So my mama, she was 30 years younger than my father. You smell me? My mama was, that was my dad. My dad was her sugar daddy. You smell me? And, I was their last kid and I was the baby or whatnot. And, he had ran into 10 bricks. He was in Miami and he had, a nigga put his pack behind the trash can. And he was a trash truck driver. I mean, he wasn't a driver, but he used to go get the trash.
For sure.
And he got the nigga dope. And when he got the dope, he left from motherfucking Miami and came to Atlanta. So he had came out here with 10 bricks at that time and, ran into my mama and whatnot. And, he wasn't a hustler like that. You smell me? He just ended up having a big ass pack and ended up trying to maintain it a little bit here and there, but he went broke. And when he went broke, the young bitches ain't with that. You went broke, old man, you gotta go. You smell me? So it lasted for a little while. By the time I got in I want to say first, second grade, his ass was out of there. You smell me? And my mama moved on to her next man or whatnot. So my I loved it, being able to be around my father because my father from Mississippi. And he taught me, how to go to farming. And I was able to be around sheep and cows and all that type of shit whenever I go to his part of the family for summer vacations and shit. Mm-hmm. So but after that age, after 6, 7 years old, I was never able to, utilize that relationship. And then when I started selling dope, he used to run off on me so much. Like, I try to give him a pack and, I got your son. That shit he never got, man. You smell me? So that's how that went with him and I. But my mom and I, we kept a tight-knit relationship, but I think that due to, my mom was a beautiful young lady and, she had a nice shape and whatnot. She utilized men for money. You smell me? And
Stability.
And now she utilized me as that motherfucking stability. So she don't really know how to look at me as her son.
As a loving person that she's like, correct me if I'm wrong. Your mom looks at you as the stable person that can give her what she yearns.
Exactly.
What you want from your mom is this stable emotional source.
Right.
Where, okay, mama, doing things that, you feel me, as we know that healthy relationship or that healthy dynamic to be. You see what I'm saying? Are you still, I don't necessarily know, so I'm asking this question out of oblivion, but is your father still around?
Nah, he did. He died 15 years ago.
Does that trigger an emotion in you?
Welcome to Capture the Lucky.
That's crazy. Shit. Goddamn commercials, man.
I mean, sometimes when you ain't got shit and then it's gone, I ain't have it in the first place. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like, my plug was always my father to me. You know what I mean? Like, whenever I go to jail, he made sure I was straight. For the most part, whenever I get out, he made sure I have a pack to get back right. You know what I'm saying? So like, in the trap life, that was my father to me. You smell me?
Mm-hmm.
So my dad, shit, he ran off on me. Yeah, I mean, I yearned for father. You know what I'm saying? But that shit just never was there.
It just never was what you saw a father on TV to be like. Come on, son, let's go to the park. Hey, come
Like,
on.
that ain't never happened. Hell nah, that ain't happened.
So let me ask you this: who knows
Make sure y'all
Rollo
double
the
tap
best?
screen, man. Double tap the
I think my
screen.
girl know me the
Child
best.
hating asses.
My fiance.
How long y'all been kicking it?
Since I was 12 years old.
And you how old now?
30.
Mm.
Been on hustle a long goddamn time.
Yeah. But how did you create that bond?
I think that just life just created that bondage going, cause you gotta think about it. She was there when I was shot grad. She was going to trial with me at 12 and 13 years old. You smell me?
Is she the same age as you?
She a year older than me.
Okay.
So like she was, shocked. Like a little nigga calling her phone like, oh yeah, I just shot 4 people in the blow. And she like, what? Like, she ain't from the bluff with none of that type of shit. She was staying in Henry County at that time. She just fucked around and came to Simpson to get her hair did and I caught her. You smell me? And just going through trials and tribulations in, out of jail and shit. And dope gang, I don't got robbed with her. She done got robbed with me. We done got in high-speed chases several times. I done got shot up in front of her. She done seen me in the hospitals and, just dealing with the whole street bullshit, period. That shit give you a bond. Like, it's impossible not to grab. You know what I'm saying? And, being in those type of situations, you need that support. You know what I'm saying? Being in prison, being in juvenile, being in boot camp, being in all these different places and hospital beds and shit, being kicked out on the street, being in the police cars and shit and ambulances and shit. That shit created abundance. You know what I mean?
Where did she come from?
She came from Henry County.
No, but I'm saying like, she go to school?
She graduated. She actually graduated. I helped her get through school. I paid her way through college and everything.
She went to school?
Yeah.
Nigga, this a long story, man.
Yeah, she
This
graduated.
motherfucker, like.
Yeah.
I'm a detective, Metro PD, homicide. This
Regular bitch.
I used to keep the kid while she go to school. When she get out of school, she'll help me do the shift, let me get some sleep. I wake up, let her go to school. I do the shift. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was rocking like that.
She ever been locked up?
Yeah, she been locked up a lot of times.
On your behalf?
Yeah,
So there's a loyalty, there's a bond
right.
that comes by way of y'all going through so much together that, you know what I'm saying, it's bringing y'all closer. You feel what I mean?
That's my best friend.
So throughout this whole process, a question that I always have to ask, how many times you been to jail?
Oh man, like 30, something, over 30.
Over 30 times.
Right.
30 times. Damn.
Your lady been by your side throughout this whole process.
Right.
The human in me wants to know, you think she ever cheated on you?
Nah, hell nah. She kept it silent. You gonna know.
How?
Cause the nigga can't wait to say that fuck your bitch. You ain't gonna not know that in the streets. Especially on Instagram now. They go tell your ass that, boy. She kept it silent.
Is there ever a time, knowing what you know,
They go tell.
is there ever a time a man should relinquish
Some of these niggas
the
be
control
scared, though.
to say, you know what, baby, I'm in this motherfucker for a long time.
Right.
Don't wait on me.
I tried several times. I tried almost every time. I didn't even think that she was gonna do all that time with me. I never thought that. I used to tell her anyway, like, shit, we gonna break up anyway, like, you know what I'm saying? I never in a billion years would have thought, she would do all that time like that. But financial stability matters a lot when you leave a loved one out here. So I always left for a nice bag of money, you know what I'm saying? So we can chip off and, you know, throughout our life of going through all the shit we went through, it kind of trained her to know, okay, this is my money that he give me, and this is the money that he making sure the bills and shit get paid. You smell me? And while I'm in there, I hustle a lot. Like, no matter what the fuck they put me at, if I gotta sell some of the commissary, I just know how to hustle. You smell me? I cook food and sell this shit if I'm on the yard. You know what I'm saying? I always was just blessed to see a hustle and take advantage of it.
So how did that, was it situations that brought you closer to make you empower her to know how to move? Or was it just the circumstance where it's like, bro, I can't do all this shit by myself. I need help. Because I don't give a damn who and how great you are. You need alliances. You need allies.
Hell yeah.
You feel me?
If it wasn't for her shit, that was my stronghold. You smell me? Like, I don't know how the hell, you know, you got to have somebody you can trust. You smell me? Like, you got to think about it. I was dealing with massive amounts of cash at the time. You know, $1 million cash in 20s and 5s and 10s. You know how that shit look? You know, if another nigga seen that or another bitch seen that, your ass get robbed. You smell me? And she knew I had that shit I had that shit everywhere. You smell me? I had that shit everywhere. And to leave her out there with that type of shit and still be able to go home after doing prison bids and shit, that shit was like, that created a lot of trust, you know what I'm saying? And she went on that type of time, she just didn't care. She was just like me. Like, I didn't ever give a fuck about getting Bentleys and Rolls Royces and Phantoms, even when I had millions and millions of dollars to do it with. I just liked it what I had, you smell me? I just was satisfied with what God had already blessed me with, you smell me? And she, you know, her and I grew up like together with this shit, you smell me? And grew from being $1,000 nigga to a $10,000 to a $100,000 nigga to a $1 million nigga to a $10 million nigga. She just was there the whole time, so she seen the before, middle, and afterwards, you smell me?
Yeah. There's a situation that's going on now that, first, I'm going to go from this angle. Young Thug.
Right.
He's dating a person now.
Right.
Right? Mariah.
Right.
I can't fathom what she goes through.
Right.
Nor can I fathom what your fiance went through.
Right.
But I know this to be some truth in it. I had a young lady by the name of Brandy Davis. She served Fed time. Right? She said serving time as a man and serving time as a woman is two completely servings of time. Mm-hmm. You got a support system.
Right.
Men have support systems.
Right.
When a woman goes into a Fed, ain't nobody really
stand up
checking for her. She damaged goods at that particular point in time. Like, and it's a harsh reality that the same amount of people that's coming to check for you ain't gonna be the same amount of people that's gonna be checking for a dude that's whatever. You feel me? What would you say to the people who have people incarcerated?
I mean, dealing with an incarcerated individual really stands upon who this individual is. Because you got people down there in prison that a mama, that's calling their grandmama. Their grandma get a Social Security check for $750 a month. You smell me? And they calling their grandmama asking for $50. Out that $50 that she gave him, he done bought some deuce, some K2, something to get high with. I just feel like that's some fucked up ass shit. This lady, even if you got an individual that making, let's say, $12 an hour to $15 an hour, and he send you $100, people not understanding that that person just worked a whole 10 hours just to send you $100 for you to go and fuck that shit out. You smell me? So like, it really be depending on the individual. Like, a motherfucker knew from the very first beginning, whatever a person give me, I'm gonna do right by it. You smell me? Like when Lil Baby gave me $50,000, I put another $50,000 with it, bought another lot. When Dirt gave me $40,000, I bought the lot right next to that lot, put $60,000 with it, and you know what I'm saying, I own that lot, you know what I'm saying? So I put a house on this one and a house on that one, so I turned 50,000 into 500,000, 600,000, easy, you know what I'm saying? I hustled it up though. I might do a show today, probably get me 15, 20, okay, I can do the foundation with this. Okay, I get another interview for about 15, 20,000, okay, now I can do the framework. Okay, now I know I gotta do plumbing, I know I gotta do electrical, I know I gotta do HVAC. So I hustle that shit up, but at the end of the day, it started off with a 50 ball, and now we got 550,000 in equity. I could pull out 85% of this and invest it in something else. So it really depends on the individual because I did all that from a jail cell. You smell me? So
The enrichment part.
yeah, exactly. Enrichment or even in that, like some niggas you send $50 to, I go buy me 50 suits. And goddamn, I paid 85 cents for them, and now I sell them for $2, 2 for 1 on store day and stuff like that. It's just so much you can do as an individual incarcerated to accumulate money that you don't have to put that burden on your people. You feel me?
Yeah. But that's still not negating the truth or the reality of temptation.
Yeah, you got temptation now. You got some people. Now, I do understand where niggas is just getting high trying to smoke away their time.
Yeah.
That shit fucking with them mentally. You smell me? But you just gotta build strength. You gotta build spiritual and mental strength in that motherfucker because that shit is fucked up in the art. And then, like you say, ain't no support system. Like some niggas like me that got a massive amount of support. Niggas out here saying free Rollo. But a lot of them people ain't like a lot of millionaire friends that I was real tight knit with ain't never sent me $1. You smell me?
Yeah.
So that shit can look good from the outside, but on the inside, that shit don't be what it look like.
So can you say you have real friends or fake friends in the industry?
I think that the industry is just fake as fuck, regardless. Even if it turned real niggas fake. Yes, ma'am, I know some niggas that's real that, you know, due to the fact, oh, Rollo fuck with Dolph, I can't fuck with him because, you know, I'm team CMG and shit like that. It takes a man, you know what I'm saying? It takes a real man to say, okay, I ain't getting in between this shit. I'm fucking with both of them. I'm still gonna fuck with Rollo and I'm still gonna fuck with CMG. You smell me?
Yeah.
And that shit just not in a lot of niggas. Like, some of these niggas be puppets. Some of these niggas allow these fans to create this character that they try to portray to be forever. And outside of that character, they not happy within their skin. You know what I mean?
Look who's joining us for my favorite.
Man, I know a few, man. I know a few niggas who like that, man. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Nigga better understand the fuck that. Understand the fuck that, man.
Maturity is something that I'm hearing you kind of operate in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mentioned Young Thug, right? With this whole situation going on with what he's going through with his RICO case, how are you able to still be who you are, being able to see what the world has justified a gunner as, Lil Baby, Thug? It don't matter who, and the list goes on. We see it, I see it from a way of like, okay, that's a new beef. All right, I don't even know what the hell a beef is. I'm from a school where it's like, bro, if I got an issue with you and I see you, we gonna have to have a conversation. You see what I'm saying? That ain't no pussy shit. That's just on, if that's how you feel, it's probably something that's been told to you secondhand.
Right.
Now, everything, I'm hearing back.
I'm gonna tell y'all what I like about Cam is, cause I'm gonna tell you something. He don't know a lot of street shit, but he do know. Like, he be trying to act politically correct. Nigga, we know you know about this shit, nigga. You done hung around niggas that know about this shit. But at the same time, Cam was a grade A graduate, Auburn. Nigga, the Heisman Trophy winner. You know, maybe he don't know about this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? I like
Said
the
what?
way
Okay,
that-
cool.
Because
Rather-
motherfuckers don't understand the interviewer, the person who's asking the questions, bro. You have to make the person comfortable with you. We just saw academics in Quando Rondo. That nigga Quando Rondo wasn't going because he was not comfortable, bro. Even on the Say Cheese interview, Rollo was in front of his yard. He was comfortable, but it was like he didn't get this deep in that. You know what I'm saying? This is like
Other than just going direct to the source.
I think that it still got a massive burden on being a coward. You smell me? And being immature. You smell me? Like, everything you hear ain't true. You smell me? And it's best to investigate and find out the truth. But you got people like myself, let's just say me, Terrell Rollo Davis, I say Cam Newton shot a nigga in 5th grade. By me being who I am and having the credibility that I got, people will be like, okay, Cam Newton shot a nigga in 5th grade. And you know damn well you might shoot a nigga in 5th grade. You smell me? So like, people run with what I say just to got the, and all right, fuck with Cam. I ain't fuck, cause Rollo said this. Rollo can be goddamn lying no matter who I am. You know what I'm saying? So I think they got a lot to do with, you know, picking and choosing who you wanna deal with. You know, they got their picks. You know what I mean? They got their favorites.
How are you? Take me through this whole situation of a plea deal.
A plea deal.
Right? So some would say you cooperated, some would say you snitched. Bring light into what you know with Thug and this Gunna situation.
I personally don't even think that, even with, I don't think that the brother Gunna knew what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Keep
Like,
telling y'all that shit.
you know,
What he getting into?
I don't think he knew. Like,
Yeah, he don't know what's going on.
I don't think he knew the severity of
Yeah.
how that would affect Thug and affect his career. You smell me? Like, him saying he was guilty, because, you know, I fuck with Gunna and Thug and all these people so hard to the point where I never even looked at what he did on the video. You smell me? But from the whiff of what I hear, and, you know, from still talking to Gunna and talking to others and shit like that, I personally don't even think that nigga knew what he was doing. You smell me?
He was just trying to get out.
I think that, you know, we as defendants, or anybody as a defendant in a case that's not competent with law, will listen to his counsel. He'll listen to his lawyer like, shit, this nigga got my best interest at heart, and he know that this my man, and he know I ain't on that. But your lawyer will do some lame ass shit that you would never do. But he represents you, and he got you saying yeah to some shit that you don't even know what the fuck you saying yeah to. Even if the motherfucking prosecutor say certain shit, you be like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you be done said it and shit. And a lot of people suffer from that. A lot of people don't know what the fuck they signing in these pleas. A lot of people don't even know how much time they signing for. They go in that motherfucker. A lawyer be done told you getting fired, you come out that bitch with 40 years, 20 years. This shit not happen on several occasions, and people ain't able to get out to even speak upon it, nor is they even, in those that get out, be so fucking happy to be out that they don't even talk about this shit. So like, I just don't think that we as people is just educated in that field of law.
Shit, man.
But in this situation, it's such a prominent case in the culture.
Right.
For those who see the information that's being spreaded about Thug or being spreaded about Gunna, it's like, oh shit, this person said this or this person said that, blah, blah, blah. Even so far as to say, like, it's like, rest in peace to Rich Homie.
Right.
I want it!
Hey, that nigga Cal, he be knowing what's going on, nigga. If you from Atlanta, nigga, he know what's going on. He just don't know that street terminologies and shit about what we say when we cooking up work or some shit. But he know what's going on, dog. They all do.
There's a theory that's out there that's like, yo, he was gonna testify against Thug. That's how did he really overdose? Did he really follow? You know what I'm saying? Like all these different things is like coming up as a conspiracy where it's like, hold on. We don't know who to trust. So my question is, how do we sift through the bullshit with these cases that are made public?
You gotta really go read. Like, reading is fundamental. You smell me? And a lot of people done got so lazy due to the fact that we got TikTok, we got goddamn Instagram.
Hey, don't I say this all the time? It's Bettina, fuck a video, nigga. I'm finna go read this shit and see what these white folks say. If it's something that I don't understand, nigga, just put it in the Google box. I promise you, you'll get a great understanding of what it is. Fuck what a blogger say. My nigga, like, I'm gonna read first so I know the ins and outs of what we talking about. You get what I'm saying? I learned how to do that good.
Remember, we can just see videos that once we see the first video or anything, we run with that. We run with the video without even going back and doing our own investigation and reading shit.
Yeah.
You gotta think about it, like 80% of the world just don't read no more. You smell me? And they used to say if you want to keep something from a person, put it in a book.
Keep something from a nigga.
A nigga. I ain't want to say that, but you can say it.
Yeah.
They'll troll me if I said you said
Keep something from like real spill. It's like, bro, I realized in my life, I'm more of a nerd than I gave myself credit for.
Right.
I love information.
Right.
This conversation that we have and is more intriguing to me than a lot of other a lot of other conversations that I have because when you was incarcerated, I told you I saw that documentary from old boy from YouTube. I was like, God damn, this nigga here, Rollo, young nigga, getting to money. And even though we praise, like, bro, this motherfucker here was doing some shit at a high level, there's also the dark side of that. But a lot of people see through all that and say, like, God damn, my boy, this shit is really, when I was young, growing up, I had OGs that wouldn't even allow me to be able to ask these questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a real conversation where they call it the hot spot. That's in school, where they used to just go sneak into a car, everybody smoke weed, and then boom, my dumb ass go run into that motherfucker bar too, thinking we going to McDonald's. My brother was sitting next to me, and he was like, nigga, if I ever see you smoking weed, I'll beat your motherfucker ass. Like, I've never smoked weed a day in my life. Just off of that fear that nigga looked me in my soul like, bitch ass nigga, let me tell you something, little nigga. That, you feel me? But that still didn't mean that I wasn't intrigued to like, yo, my nigga, like.
You see what I'm
saying? To this day, I love the smell of marijuana. Never smoked. You know what I'm saying? It's real.
Hey, this nigga Cam is crazy, dog. Man, this nigga Cam. That nigga say my brother hit the joint and told me, nigga, you better not ever get you shit, nigga. You got why nigga needs that big brother, my nigga. I'm trying to check the shit out of his ass, nigga. I know it. I can see this out. I ain't doing that.
Like niggas that came to my house where, bro, there is incense or there are certain apparatuses that give off the simulation of marijuana. Right? I'm big on meditation. I'm big on, you know what I'm saying, speaking things into existence and just whatever. And with that whole process, it's like, yo, you got to really zen yourself out. So without that, how you see a whole situation unfold in front of you, it's like, okay, how can I really know the difference between something that's real and something that's not? And Woody, right? You see, I keep saying
it's Woody.
Right. I'm sorry. Apologies. But when we see these different people in the spotlight of framework, we don't necessarily know what to believe because there's so much that's out there. You know what I'm saying?
You know, in my beginning of my bed, you know, while Craig was my roommate, you know, Woody and I was in the same damn dormitory, like same block or whatnot. And then, you know, he was some shit called 30 Deep back in the days. You know what I'm saying? You know, they accusing YSL for being gang and shit, but, you know, Thug don't used to be Rock Crew back in the days or whatnot. And, you know, we was just opposition of both. You smell me? And, you know,
What do dogs dream about?
It's crazy. That nigga get deep. That nigga said they used to be the Rock Crew. That was the name of that shit. Niggas was just making up crews, nigga.
growing up and going through all what we went through. I ain't gonna speak on what we went through, but going through all the bullshit that we went through of being arch enemies and shit. When you overcome that, you know, niggas like myself, Thug, became friends. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Woody, you know. And, you know, I used to see this man every fucking day inside the jail, in the feds or whatnot. And we had gained a good friendship, a good bond. Like, it was my man.
For clarity, y'all were
Oppositions.
ops
Right.
to each other.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? If given the right circumstance, if he would have saw you out on the streets at one point in time, and you would have seen him out on the streets at one
What's
point,
up?
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, given the change of scenery,
Right.
you feel me? Now you're realizing like, yo,
This is good
you
nigga.
ain't who I thought you was. You feel?
Now he definitely who I thought he was. Like, I ain't gonna take it from him. Like, shout gonna handle his business. I ain't gonna take that from him. Like, I just handle my business as well. You feel me? So, you know, I went, you know, we called band guns, we got guns. A lot of shit occurred, you know, on his end and my end. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, we end up growing up out of that shit, and we was able to see each other while we was incarcerated and embrace each other and become friends and stuff. I had not even, to this day, the same way I ain't never looked at Gunna little shit, I never looked at none of the interviews with the brother on Woody, you know, because that shit probably fuck with me too. You know what I'm saying? Probably also how I feel and how, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm still stuck in that same place of when we was cool. I hate looking at people's weaknesses. I like to focus on people's strengths. And you know, he may feel like I abandoned him since I've been out due to the fact that I haven't, you know, did much speaking with him. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just didn't know all that was going on. You know what I'm saying? The shit that they put out there on them and shit like that. So, like, you know, I think that with anything, you know, before I even do anything, I just was like, damn, Allah, why you ain't, you know, tell me some of these things occurred or, cause, you know, I embrace you like a brother, like you my man. And even if you would've did that shit, I would be a lot more appreciative if you would've told me from the jump, like, this is what I'm on, and this is what I'm on, you smell me? Instead of letting the world shock me with it, you smell me?
So being incarcerated, how does that work when you see a person who you like, hold on, is that who goes up to who first? You see what I'm saying? Like,
This
if you
nigga
know who
crazy.
he is and what he
Damn
represents,
crazy.
and it's like y'all became good friends. How did we? What was that situation when it was the first where it's like, okay, cool. How does that
It's
happen?
just almost like when you go to New York, you see the Chinese end up fucking with the Chinese, you see the Indians fucking with the Indians, you see the black people congregating, you see the Puerto Ricans. So like, whatever gangsters land, we always clean with each other. You smell me? Like,
Solely off race first.
I mean, I wouldn't even, I was racist as well, but we was in a whole total blackened environment. So we wasn't even having to choose between race at that particular place. But we do come from the same type of environments, whether we was shooting and killing and all that type of shit that was going on in our neighborhood. We definitely bond upon the gangsterism. You smell me?
Yeah.
Gangsters respect
So,
gangsters.
go ahead.
So that automatically makes us clean together at times. You know what I'm saying?
Being from Atlanta.
I mean, that whole place was kind of from Atlanta. You smell me? So it's just everywhere in Atlanta, it wasn't going down like that at a point of time. You know what I'm saying? Like McCannville was McCannville and the Bluff was the Bluff. It ain't that no more. You smell me? You got the east side where it's jumping over there right now. And at one time it wasn't. You smell me? So like you just got a big difference in scenery. So at that time, we share the same history. We share the same history and bondage.
So my whole thing is like, you was incarcerated this last stint, 8 years?
They gave me 9 years, I did 6.
You did 6.
Yes, sir.
Humanistically, what was something that you seen coming out here that was like, it just blew your mind?
The shit I came out here and seen that blew my mind would have to be, you know, when I went in, I was the only young nigga in my neighborhood or even on the west side of Atlanta with a Lamborghini. So like, them bitches were $385,000. You know, while I was in, you know, you had PPP come, you had certain, you know, you had Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, you had all these different streaming sites crank up. Versus when I was out, you had WorldStar, My Mixtape, Dat Pill, Spinnerella, Live Mixtape. You had all these type of things. Well, we had to pay. Dope boys had to pay them to get on these top of these different things. We wasn't accumulating money through streaming. Woman.
Team, it's been a grind.
Nigga Camden play like 20 commercials in this motherfucker. I swear.
Sponsor of the college.
So do the same thing a man to do.
I guess what you're trying to say, to clear that up, not to say I agree or disagree with you.
Right.
One man having 3 girls and all of them pregnant, there's no shadow of a doubt who that father is. Understood? One man for a woman.
Right.
Impregnates 1, 2, 3. Everybody knows who the baby daddy is.
Mm-hmm.
One woman, 4 men. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who the damn daddy is? Everybody looking at each other like, shit, that's Spider-Man me. See what I'm saying? It's a whole bunch of conflict. Needless to say, we got a game here.
Right.
You ready for the game?
I'm ready for the game.
Rollo, you've been making money many different ways. But let's see what you think about these choices in a game called Good Money featuring Rollo. The game is simple.
To that because she sold it. So she get between 6 and 10%, you know, as a realtor. And whenever I get the money, I put that shit back into more real estate. You know, she want to go buy a bag and shit like that. And I just used to be like, motherfucker, you taught me this game. Why the hell is you not playing the game? You smell me? Because I'm telling you, like, okay, when you get my money, buy this with my money. I'm thinking that she'll want to do the same thing with her money. You smell me? And I just was able to accumulate a lot of wealth throughout, you know, learning the game from her.
So take me through this situation. Being the provider for your fiance, how many children do you have?
I got 5.
5. So fiance, children, and family after your finances were seized, right?
Right.
How are you still able to make sure that they straight?
That screaming shit had just popped while I was in. So all my albums that I had dropped independently, now I was able to finally get the fruits of it because people started downloading my shit on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora, and I was fucking with this dude named Gazi. He over Empire Distribution Service. He got a label, and he was just sending me 50,000, 30,000, 40,000, depending on what I streamed that month. And I utilized that as a hustle. You smell me? Once I was accumulating this wealth, I just was buying property. Once I buy these properties, some kind of fucking way, the property value just went outrageously up. So, you know, I was able to accumulate a certain amount of wealth from my streaming, and I was putting it in the property. And once PPP hit, everything that was $1 was now $3 or $4 and shit like that. Interest rates was real good and all that. So, you know, I just took advantage of the market at that time, and I just killed the market. You know what I mean?
Me learning this at a time in my life where I became a father, and even being the source of emotion because a lot of people live vicariously through me. That's mom, dad, family members, or whatever. Have you really had a conversation with your children in regards to how you being incarcerated, or even your woman being incarcerated, how that made them feel?
I mean, I talked to them every day while I was incarcerated, and you know, they came and visited me every weekend. You smell me? So like, it wasn't like a missing of presence until I get in a hole or some shit like that. Cause me and my girl, we talk on the phone all day and night. I had cell phones down there every jail I went to. You smell me? That's the only time it felt fucked up when I ain't had that phone. That phone behind that wall, that shit. When you doing a countdown and you got a phone.
Look who's joining us for my favorite part of the day.
Cherry.
It's like the 80s commercial, man. I'm glad this shit almost over. I can't stand them commercials, man. But hey, Cam, them gotta get paid. They deserve to get paid out this one.
It helps you a lot. So like, conversations like that really didn't take a massive burden until they like walking out of the visitation room. You smell me? That's when it hits you like, oh shit, I'm finna go back to this cell. I can't even go to my kids' school and go to father-daughter dances and shit like that. You know, those type of things killed me. And you know, when you get out, you be trying to make up for time so much that you don't even, every time you think of some shit that you ain't do, you try to hurry up and do. You smell me? So that conversation really don't never happen with them. You really be having that shit with yourself because you feel like you fucked up. You smell me?
Yeah. As a father, is there a source or a person that you kind of looked at and was like, okay, I like how they father their children?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Did you have a source for that growing up? Or not growing up, or just being an adult? You know what I'm saying? Because they're, contrary to what people may believe, like, no matter how ruthless, no matter how, you know, cool or uncool a person may be, this a son, this a daughter, this a father, this a mother. You know what I mean?
I think that take a lot of responsibility with the parents, the kid's mother. You get what I'm saying? Like, cause some of these kids mama won't even let you see that goddamn child. You smell me? Some of them mess it up with putting a father on child support and shit like that. So it creates even though you love your child to death, it still creates some kind of tension between you and your child when a woman do that if you taking care of your child. You smell me? So like, that a father, a real nigga gonna be a father to their child regardless. You smell me? So like, I've been the best father that I possibly can be. You smell me? And I ain't now one of my, you know, people ain't ever put me on child support and that like that. So it really boils down to yourself. Like, I ain't really had nobody where I was like, I would like me and my child relationship to be like this. Smell me? I just ain't seen that yet.
Mm-hmm. Now, scenario, your oldest is who and what?
15 years old.
15.
Yeah.
Daughter, son? Son. If your son or you
You like watching TV shows and movies? Don't watch on that. You want a quest. Look at that.
if your son or you see your son trying to sell drugs,
Right.
how would that conversation go with you?
Man. Man, I might pop his stupid ass. I don't know what I'm gonna do to her. I don't know. He ain't even that type of nigga, but if perhaps I seen him on that type of time, I'll try to have that conversation with him, right? But his ass got to get out of my house. His ass gone. You going where you was trapped, because I know at 12 and 13 years of age, I was sitting in abandoned houses selling dope. So, like, you ain't have to do that. You smell me? And I'll try my best to work it out with him throughout conversation and counseling and shit like that. But honestly, niggas gonna do what they want to do. Like, kids gonna grow up and do what they want to do. You gotta be a father and you know, try to support them in the righteous side of it. But you definitely gotta put your feet down when there's some sucker shit going on. You can't just tend into it, because him selling dope, that shit can play a massive play on the threatening of our household. You smell me? Like, I don't see no drug dealers in my neighborhood. You smell me? Like, and drugs fuck up communities. You smell me? Drugs fuck up communities tremendously. And that's just something I ain't even tolerate. You smell me?
I'm curious, as a person that has seen what you've seen, have you ever experienced somebody's first time
First time what?
doing drugs?
Not that I recall. Everybody that I seen doing dope, they was already doing it.
Yeah. Like, I'm reminded of Snowfall.
Right.
Right? His girlfriend, Franklin. Franklin's girlfriend ended up being a junkie.
Right.
You feel me? Also, Franklin's partner, his girlfriend, was a junkie too.
Right.
At some point, that pretty girl, that pretty smile, took a hit for the first time that altered or that changed the trajectory of their life.
I think that I have witnessed going to prison for 6 years and coming out and seeing the effect that drugs have put upon a person. I done seen a girl that was once pretty before I went to jail. I get out and now she look like, you smell me? I done seen that. But, you know, the real physical, I just smoked my first bag of crack or did my first Percocet pill. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I ain't really bear witness to that. A lot of people like respect me to the highest extent that they don't even smoke around me or they don't even do drugs. And if they do them, they really hide them from me. You smell me? Since I've been, you know,
The Muslim.
out of that game.
Man, that's that shit.
And even then, did you ever feel bad for selling drugs?
I never felt bad for doing drugs until I went federal, until I went to the feds. You gotta think about it. When I'm going to a state prison and shit like that, you around niggas that's from Cobb County, Atlanta, Baldwin, Georgia, Reedville. You were still around Georgia people, you know what I'm saying? Or people that was convicted in Georgia. When you go federal, they'll send your ass so far. You'll be in goddamn the Virginia mountains with not one person that, so really you get to be around different cultures of people. You might not even see a person from Atlanta. You smell me? Like, it was a time where I was in a federal prison in Cumberland, and guess what? I did not see not one black officer the whole 2 years I was there. So like, you really get to experience being around other cultures. And when you experience being around other cultures and going to NAAA and RDAP and different programs, and you really, because you got to do these programs in order to get out. If you don't do these programs, you ain't going to get no good time off. You smell me? So niggas that want to get out of jail going to go to these programs, and you sitting in group, you know, the 12-step programs and stuff, and you really get to hear out how fucked up this shit did their life, or what's the impact the drugs played on their life. And then you be like, damn, I probably served these people that, you know, that you went to football, you done bought your kids a $1 million house, and she done got on drugs, and she done sold all that shit for some drugs.
You can call me Detective Alex Cross. Multiple victims are connected to this. You think you can stop him? I know I can.
And you be like, damn, I remember Unc gave me his motherfucking car for a goddamn ounce of crack. I ain't no telling how much he paid for that shit. What the interest rates, or what he worked at, or what his wife had to do for these things. So like, you really sit in group and you actually hear the stories of what took place in their life from being addicted to these drugs, you be like, damn, I did that. Or some of these people that OD'd or they family done OD'd, and you be able to see, not even from the aspect of, selling drugs, but the aspect of, niggas singing my songs and then utilizing my songs to motivate them to go pick up a pack. Oh, I want to be like Rollo. And now you sitting in prison for 20, 30 years. And niggas like, bro, you was my motivation. You was the reason that I got down, picked up a pack. And then you be like, how much time you got? 30 years. You like, damn, I'm kind of the reason this nigga in here. I was his motivation. I was his role model. I'm the nigga who you wanted to be. And now you got 30 years. That's the father took from my household. I played a part in this. So like, that guilt will kill you. You smell me? That shit'll fuck you up. That's why I try to do so much in my community to like cleanse my soul of that sin. You smell me? So that's where I be at with it now.
Like I see a situation where, and I'm always comparing the two to bring perspective. Well, a lot of what you do, you already know what comes with it.
Right.
Addiction, jealousy, envy, also self-imposed greed.
Right.
Murder.
Right.
All these things you already know. I'm willing to do this to get what I want, avoiding blah, blah, blah. It's no different than playing football, right?
Right.
Tua Tagovailoa. He's going through a concussion where we see, God damn, this nigga got another concussion. But as a football player, it's easy for somebody to say, man, fuck that. What the fuck you keep playing football for? Like, you got the money. But that's almost like an unspoken oath to the game where it's like, bro,
That's where this shit comes with.
it's what comes with it.
Right.
So you can't just say, I'm just lucky enough to be able to walk up and go use the restroom or walk up and play, catch with my son, not having no nicks or bruises. Because at first, and I talked about this on 4th and 1, it's like, bro, having a concussion, everybody laugh at that shit. They'll tease and be like, oh shit, you need to go into the blue tent, nigga? Like, yeah, but having a banged up knee, you may have a limp and you may see it, but a concussion, bro, like, you really can't sleep. There's so many different side effects. But if you ask that person, the crazy thing about it is, if you ask that person, would you do it all over again? They'll agree, because it's like, this was my way out. I bought my mama a house. I bought my kids private school. I bought myself a Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce, all this and that. And yeah, the collateral from that was I got CTE now. But you don't see, or it's hard for people to understand that toxic kind of oath to this that I already know what come with it. I already know I could potentially die. You know what I'm saying? From my partner, from, my family member on some janky shit. But for me and my whole understanding of sports, it's a fucked up game. Because some people be like, shit, bro, I play football. But when you start seeing people paralyzed from football, you seen DeMar Hamlin? You seen what happened? It's niggas that died on the field, all chasing the NFL. You feel me? So dare I not shed light on that, as well as with you, am I going to the prison for committing to playing football? No. But there's a understanding or respect what comes with this game too, that everybody needs to be, upwards of knowing the game. What's next for you?
I think, I'm just soaking all the money out the rap game that I possibly could. I was just gonna keep raping them. I dropped my book in February the 12th. On my birthday, I dropped my first book. I wrote this book while I was in prison, and I just been DMing my editors and stuff. And after I dropped that first book, I'm gonna go ahead and start shooting a series for Netflix and
Buy that.
and once I do that, I'm gonna just dive into the movie line a little bit.
So, question:
Buy that bitch.
you making music still?
Yes, sir.
What do you rap about?
I mean, music just deal with my mental health. You smell me? Like, I don't really, outside of these interviews and shit, I don't really too much cry or talk to people. You smell me? I just go in the booth and I just let it out. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I'm going through at that moment or at that time, or if I see some sucker shit online, or if I see something my girl doing I'm just disappointed in, or my kids or my mama, I just really go in the booth and I just, let it out. It's like my personal diary. So, I don't know how long I'm gonna be doing that, but
Yeah.
that could be forever type shit.
So there's a plan. I mean, how I got put on you, obviously I heard, your name in the city, me being from Atlanta,
Right.
a lot of niggas that you hear, you feel me? But then you start seeing, okay, Mr. Dog Food, like, who the fuck is this nigga? Like, boom, then you start seeing these niggas, young niggas, like, like, oh, bro, I got a bum shoulder, broke ankle, fucking concussed. I know what I did to get this goddamn car. I seeing niggas in the club like shit, walk up past me to get into that motherfucker. Nah, he with me too. And dare you say anything about the nigga, you know what I'm saying? Hold on. It's definitely rules to how to move and maneuver. So even for that alone, I learned about you, your whole story, off of somebody else's teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody else produced the content to tell me about you.
Right.
Did you ever think about, you said doing something with Netflix, but would you ever come out with your own documentary?
It's based on a true story. It's my autobiography. It gonna get you from birth to now. You know what I mean?
Right there, man. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. If y'all ain't hit the like button, hit the like button for me, man. I gotta get out of here. My stomach talking to me. I'm gonna cook me some breakfast. I hope all y'all make it to work safe. Get them kids to school safe. I gotta get me some food in my belly, man. Appreciate y'all rocking with me. Remember, the hustle is in you, not on you. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. If y'all want a membership, just comment under the video and I will drop the membership link in there. Y'all can get a membership. The memberships ain't nothing but $3.99 or some shit like that.